Well, hey everybody, it's your good buddy 650 Eve here, and welcome back to another episode of the New Bike Build Series. In this episode, Zack the Master Mechanic is going to install some fantastic parts supplied to us by Miami Manny at Moto Million onto our 2021 BMW S1000 R. This is all leading up to us offering that motorcycle to one of you outstanding people viewing the video. Information on how you might win this motorcycle is down below in the description. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. For returning subscribers, tap that bell so you'll get notified when I upload new content. Zack just replaced the tire on my R1250 GS Adventure motorcycle, and now he has to take it for a test ride to make sure that it's all good to go, and then he will return and start working on our S1000 R. So Zack is a stunner. He does do stunts. He pretends like he doesn't. Wow, he rides wheelies. Whoa, that was a big one. That is none other than Zack the Master Mechanic on my R1250 GS Adventure. Whoa, acting like Teach McNeil right now. Doing crazy stunts. Teach, I don't think you have to worry. Your job's not in jeopardy. Whoa! Even Jimmy's having a good time. Look at that, Jimmy. Wow.
Hey, what's up? We're back with the S1000 here for the New Bike Build Series. Yes. We got a couple of cool parts to install today, and then we got some real good stuff coming up in the next 3 or 4 videos. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned. Today's is just more cosmetic stuff, but I think it's really going to make a big difference on how this motorcycle looks. We're going to get rid of what I think is hideous gold covers.
Yes.
And replace them with the same color that the M1000 R has.
Oh, lovely.
This gray color.
About time.
Yeah. So, I mean, lots of different solutions for this. We opted with this one. I don't know, I just like the way this cover looks. And even if you do get the GB Racing cover or something, it still does poke through a little bit. I think this bike has the GB covers on it.
Yeah.
So you do still see the gray up here. So even if you do wind up putting a GB cover on it for track use, your gray will still poke through. There are also carbon fiber covers, but even that, I think a little bit of that copper pokes through. So
yes,
we're just gonna eliminate it. I think it's gonna look really great with that red inspection plug.
Yes, it will.
And our red oil fill cap. So let's just get going in on it. I haven't changed the clutch cover yet on one of these bikes myself or done anything with the clutch, so let's pop it open. We'll see what we can see in there. And then the other side has the alternator on it, so we'll look at all the parts that are involved in that.
Okay. And then we've got some prototype black bolts to go on that too?
Oh yeah, we do. Since these are single-use bolts, these are all aluminum fasteners. They only take the torque one time, and then if you try to tighten them again, they wind up snapping. So we're gonna change them out with prototype forged bolts.
Oh, beautiful.
Look kind of a dark gray, black color.
Yeah.
Not quite black, you know? I don't know what you'd call it.
Sure.
But yeah, forged titanium, so nice and light, probably about the same weight as the aluminum fastener, but a lot stronger, and you can reuse it. So if you're going in doing clutch jobs every so often, these bolts I think wind up running you like, if retail would probably run you almost $25, $30.
Wow.
All right, so we just removed the belly pan, and I can't help but notice this bike grew some new parts.
Yeah, winglets.
Yeah.
The M1000 winglets.
Yeah, they look just like the M1000 ones. Are they in fact the M1000 ones? Or?
Well, actually, another company makes them, so they're replicas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're
But
not $1,300 each?
No, Manny from Moto Million sells them.
And I see we got some frame protection here by Light Tech.
Yeah.
I like that, nice and discreet. I always like it when you can't tell that the frame protection's there and it can do its job. And looks like we got a radiator guard.
Yep.
An SC pipe.
SC slip-on.
Is this going to go on the full exhaust system?
Yes, you're going to turn that into a full exhaust system at your leisure.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I think that's going to be coming up next time because we got the headers.
Yes, sir.
Anything else get installed?
Carbon fiber front.
Oh yeah, front fender.
Get rid of those stupid reflectors.
No reflectors.
Yep.
Very nice.
Those winglets are
The
amazing.
Light Tech on this side.
Yep.
Not in the way to remove the belly pan. I don't know if it's in the way to get this fairing off or not, but we shall find out. But you can see, so here's our alternator cover. Let's actually start with this one.
Okay.
We'll have to take the plug out of it, of course, and then we got a crankshaft position sensor plug. We'll take that out and pop this off. There's a wire just so we have a little more play because our stator is actually mounted inside this cover. We're gonna have to mount it inside the new cover.
Okay.
So let's start by popping that off. Now we can get to all our fasteners here. Pop them off in a crisscross pattern going from outside to inside. And these will get recycled. And now this cover is going to be a little bit hard to get off. They do give you a pry point right here. You can see where there's a gap in there. So we'll grab something to pry with. Just to break the sealant. So it uses a sealant on it, and then the stator itself is magnetic. So it's going to be a little bit of a tough pull. So you can see right here, it feels like it might be stuck, but if I just give it a pretty good pull,
yeah,
we come out. So there's a big magnet right in the flywheel here.
Oh wow, yeah.
Which is what makes electrical current as it spins around this stator. So we don't have to worry about cleaning this side off, but we do have to clean all the sealant off the engine,
okay,
because we're not reusing this cover. And just these 3 fasteners and that little plastic guide, and we can pull the stator out here. These are steel bolts, so we can reuse them. Definitely put some Loctite on them. Just come on. That just keeps the wire from getting hit. And our cover is removed.
Okay, so Zach, for people like myself that don't know exactly what all this stuff does, what is the significance of this on a motorcycle?
So this is what recharges your battery. This is the heart of the charging system.
Okay.
Like I said, so as this is your flywheel for all intents and purposes. It's called a flywheel. All these little teeth, you can see there's a bunch of teeth around, and then there's this big gap. That's what this sensor is reading. So every time a tooth goes past this sensor, it makes that kind of wave.
Yes.
And it on a scope, it almost looks just like this kind of wave. And then there'd be this big gap. So this big gap lets it know that that's cylinder number 1 firing. So then it can count from that. So it always knows where the engine's at. So it knows when to fire the fuel injectors, when to fire the spark plug, and whether to advance or retard the timing. It's all measured here.
Yeah.
And then this, because of the magnet and this sitting inside of it, as this spins around it, this generates electricity. It makes AC current. AC current's what's in your house when you plug into an outlet. So that's no good for charging a battery, because these are DC current batteries, just like a AA battery. They're all direct current. So this makes, like, I don't know what this stator makes for a fact, but most of these at idle make about 30 volts AC, maybe 25 volts AC. Okay. So that AC voltage goes to, we've looked at it before when we pulled the engine out. I don't even know where it is on this bike, to tell you the truth. The regulator rectifier. Oh, it's back here. They hit it up here. Okay. So see that thing with the fins on it?
Yes.
So those 3 wires go directly to this piece, and this is called a regulator rectifier. So that takes our AC current and makes it DC, and then from this piece it goes right to the battery. And you don't want to overcharge your battery, so it's also monitoring how much charge voltage, because as it spins faster, it makes more power.
Yes.
So at 14,000 RPM, that thing might be making 100 volts AC. That 100 volts AC gets turned into 14.4 volts DC and then leveled off. It bleeds off the excess voltage. Otherwise, it would be like 18, and then it would make your battery explode.
No way.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So that's how the charging system works on almost any modern motorcycle for the most part. I don't think there's any variations. If you go back, some of them are a little bit different, but that's how they all work now. So if someone goes, oh, my stator's bad, it's this piece here.
Yeah.
How can you tell this is bad? There's some easy tests you can do. And a lot of times when you get it apart, this would be like smoked. It would smell bad, or this would be burnt. Never seen one on a BMW.
Nice.
I don't think all the S1000s I've worked on, I've never seen one charging system issue that I can think of.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, so not too big an issue here. Now, Alpha Racing, I believe, and maybe some other companies, I don't know for the 2020 yet, but I know for the older ones, you can get a lightweight flywheel. So this piece has less magnets in it and is a lot thinner, and this piece is a lot smaller, so it doesn't charge your battery as well, but it allows your engine to spin faster. Because this does steal a little bit of power. Okay. Maybe like, I don't know how much. I would guess 2 to 3 horsepower, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Someone will probably let us know in the comments.
Of course they will. Some genius.
Yes. But anyway, let's get back to cleaning off this ceiling here.
I love the Motul banner you hung up.
Yeah, we got the Motul banner up.
That's cool.
We're official. Tried hanging under the Pirelli one. It didn't look any good. So.
No.
It looks a little small over there. I don't know if that's its permanent home, but it's there for now.
Okay, we got an Alpine Stars banner coming soon, so let's find.
All right, well maybe we'll shift that over and get Alpine Stars next to it. We'll see what's going on.
Okay.
All right, so you can see we got all our sealant cleaned off of the engine surface. Just use a wire brush. That works really good for that. This one's nice and clean. We can get our stator reinstalled now. Just line up the 3 holes, and we're gonna put some blue Loctite on the fasteners. It said as long as we put blue Loctite on them, we can reuse them, so that's cool. And they're just gonna get torqued to 9 Newton meters. All right, we got our pro-tie bolts prepped for assembly. We put some of the provided ceramic paste on it so that they don't seize into the aluminum of the engine block. That way we can take them back out easily. We got our BMW sealant. So we're just gonna put a little bit inside our grommet for our alternator wires. That way it seals up nicely. And we'll put some on the back side of that rubber grommet too. But this will allow us to then put that wire router back in to hold it out of the way, like so. A little blue Loctite on that guy. A low 5 Newton meters on it. And now, I guess we'll ditch this because it seems clogged.
Yeah.
I usually just put this on my finger and make a nice coating all the way around. Not too thick, otherwise it all squishes out. Try not to cover the holes too much.
Okay.
All right, there we go. I'm happy with that. Nice thin coating, but everything's coated, you know?
Yes.
And none flowing on the outside edge. You want a lot on that rubber grommet. We'll wipe up any excess after it's tight because it is gonna squish out a little bit. And then just like it was tough to pull off, you wanna watch when we put this cover back on because that magnetic force is gonna wanna suck the cover back in, so don't have your fingers in the way. Otherwise you'll wind up with a pinched finger.
Ouch.
So you kind of have to hold the outside of the cover, get that out of the way, line up our little dowel pins, and then it's just gonna suck itself
Oh yeah.
right in. And that is reinstalled.
Man, it looks a million times better already.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Wait till we get this red inspection plug in there and our black pro-tie fasteners. So now we're just gonna go the opposite of when we loosened them and start in the center, work our way out in a crisscross pattern. The original torque spec on those aluminum screws is you go 3 Newton meters and then 90 degrees. These should have a max torque on the box. I'm probably gonna take them to 10, unless it says that it's less than that. Where'd the box go? Box, max safe torque 15. So we don't need to go to 15, we're just gonna go to 10.
Okay.
I don't remember what that was. We're just gonna go snug because the other one was plastic anyways, so
Yes.
I don't think we can go too tight with that one. It's not gonna break or anything. Heck yeah, it looks way different.
Yeah,
Like I
looks
said, mainly cosmetic today, but big difference. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I've been waiting for this one.
Yes. Me too.
As silly as it sounds. This side's more common in tip over accidents that you would need to replace this cover too, so good little guide if you want to replace it by yourself. If not, I would say a shop should charge you about an hour, and now you can see why they'll charge you that hour.
Yes.
Got to take the belly pan off, got to clean some stuff, move some stuff over, make sure everything's put back together right, nothing's going to come out apart on the inside of your engine, so I don't think they should gouge you much more than an hour, hour and a half, that's for sure, but at least you know what it looks like. Go in a crisscross pattern, work your way to the center, pick a center, I don't know that it matters. This side has a gasket, so it shouldn't be as stuck as the sealant side, and there's nothing magnetic behind it. Let's see if they gave us. Again, I think we can use our actuator arm here, and if we turn it, a lot of times it loosens up the cover, but I guess not this time. There we go. So then we're gonna have to spin this counterclockwise, our actuator arm, because it's wanting to hook into this.
Okay.
So that's our other tricky part. We have to make sure that this piece is gonna stay that way. So this is our clutch right inside the cover here. This bike has the slipper clutch, and it's also, I forget what they call it, because you don't need as much spring pressure because it actually, when it rotates, engages itself too.
Okay.
These are all your fibers and steels. Pretty normal setup. BMW sells them all as a complete pack. I haven't seen any failures, issues, heard anyone slipping, smelling burnt clutches yet.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. It must be pretty tough. See, our basket seems pretty tight. Sometimes there's some play in them. I'm just curious, just so we know in the future. But yeah, so now we look inside this cover here. Here's our gasket. So good thing we got a new one. It's stuck to this cover pretty good. We'd probably rip it if we get it off.
Yep.
This is just a damper for vibration and noises. So let's pop that off. Looks like it's 3 screws. So, I mean, this is probably half a pound.
Okay.
I wish we had a digital scale. We could weigh that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's probably half a pound. Not necessary. Literally there to get rid of noise and vibration. So if you're going for strictly light status, something you'd want to remove. See, we got a little spring down here too. So let's see. It looks like we got an E-clip, which is going to allow this rod to come out. So that's just going to be a screwdriver. Try not to shoot it across the room or into your eyeball. Definitely wear safety glasses. Put that off to the side. Probably lose it.
Yep.
So take a look. I always like to look how springs are attached to. So this spring, this arm is sitting on this part. It hooks into the shaft. All right, nothing. Probably can't screw that up, so we're going to pull this out. Goofy looking shaft, put our spring there. And now here's our seal, and you can see there's a needle bearing in there. And there's another needle bearing down in there. Can you see that at all or no?
Not really.
No. Let me turn it that way. There
Okay.
we go.
Yeah.
Now you can see it.
Yeah.
So it probably pressed in there too. I don't really know how we're going to get that out, but we'll give it a shot. Let's see if we can get this seal out without mangling it. Okay, so we got the clutch cover apart. I got that little circlip out that looks just like a C-clip, looks like a piston pin clip. Shot it across the room, actually found it, amazing.
Yeah.
Seal, I pried out. Didn't mark up on the lips or anything. If you plan on doing this, I'd have a new seal on hand. Probably gonna order one and have it installed anyway. This, because it is upside down and oil is gonna be sitting there. Definitely a high leak zone. We'll give it a shot, I guess, though, because we don't have one. Now to get this bearing out, I'm gonna start with getting the top one out, and then the small one I think we'll be able to drive out once we get this one out. Only thing I can think of, they actually don't provide any instructions. I have a blind bearing puller, but that would probably damage the bearing. So I'm gonna try to just heat this cover up pretty hot. We're gonna get it real hot. Might have to use a hot plate or just a heat gun, and then we're just gonna tap it on this wood block, and hopefully the bearing releases, because the aluminum should swell enough to allow that bearing to release.
No such luck.
No such luck.
Story of the build series. We never get luck bestowed onto our arses.
All right, one more tap attempt.
Did it move at all?
No.
Didn't move. So we're going to be ordering that part.
Probably. One more thing I want to try. Let me see if I got a small enough blind bearing puller. Don't touch that, it's hot.
Okay.
All right, we got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I don't know if we did any damage or not, but we got it. So that was about 150 degrees Celsius. Usually aluminum, from my experience, expands up to like 120, so I don't know that we needed to go that hot.
Okay.
It would have been nice if that would have been a little bit bigger. I don't think we nicked any of the needle bearings. Well, once it cools off, we'll make sure that they all spin. They look pretty good though. We definitely didn't knock any out of the cage. This is what's known as a needle roller bearing. So then I'm thinking this guy looks like it can go either direction. Be pulled up or pushed down.
Okay.
I think. Again, it's kind of crazy that that cover from BMW doesn't come with this, and there's no instructions on how to do this.
Right.
They could have made like $400 worth of special tools.
Yeah.
That's usually their MO. So I don't see any, I can't see anything restricting it.
Yep.
So what we're gonna do is find something that is that exact diameter, push it down in there, so it's gonna be on the outside of the bearing race, and we're just gonna heat it up and tap it down, and hopefully it falls out. And that's how we're gonna install it in the new one too. All right, so we're back up to temperature. I found a drift that's about the same size as the outer diameter of that bearing, and we're just gonna tap it. Hopefully there's enough room for it to come out. There is, all right. So that should be a safe removal on that. Now we got this cover stripped.
Yes.
And not in bad shape, a little bit beat up. I guess I shouldn't have gone with that. If you had the right size blind bearing puller, it would have been easy for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so after a close inspection, it looks like both our bearings have survived. We did get our race good enough back here. We didn't damage any of the needle rollers in there. And this one, of course, look at, you can see this is the exact size of the outer diameter, so we only hit the outside. So we're definitely gonna use this to install this one. This one's still a little bit hot. We're gonna move these over to the freezer and let them get pretty cold so that they install easier. And we'll heat that just a little bit, but not nearly as hot as we had it. Lower one installed, let's check it. Still spins, feels nice and smooth, cool. Now the upper one should be a little bit easier. I'm just gonna use a socket that's the same size and it bottoms out so we can just install it in all the way. I'm gonna go grab it from the freezer. Should hear the sound change once it gets seated. I don't know if you could hear that in the video, but it changed a little bit. It got a lot more solid sounding. That means we're seated all the way.
Okay.
And you can see that we're seated all the way. If we look down there. So let's do another quick check here and make sure everything still spins like it should and fits. Oh yeah. Feels just like before, so that's good. A lot of bikes and manufacturers wouldn't even put a bearing in here. It would just be a bushing. But so that's pretty precise of them to have a bearing.
Okay.
Like that installed, and now we're gonna do the same thing with our seal. It looks to be in good shape. I'm gonna put just a little bit of grease on it. Again, I would not reuse this seal, but we just need to get this cover on and get this bike back on the road for a little bit, so we're in.
Oh man.
And then to make sure it's in all the way, we'll just give it a little spin. Yep, it spins, it's in its groove. Okay, so now we can get back to where we started with our spring, if you remember. And that sits over top of this little wall here. And this guy will go in, hopefully not disturbing the lip of our seal. Just got to check the orientation. That is the right way because our cable is going to pull this way. You can see where all the grease got on the shaft, so that's where the hard lip could have caught the seal. So hopefully it did its job and didn't rip the lip of the seal. And now there was the E-clip, because it looks like an E, that holds our shift rod in place. Gave a nice little snap so we know it's in place. That can't fall out now. And we can see, so see how when I turn it that disappears? We're gonna want to assemble with it like that so that we can catch that other rod.
Okay.
Because we're gonna catch this hook. When you pull on this, that's what disengages the clutch.
Okay.
Oh, we should probably put a gasket up there.
Yes.
That's gonna work better. A little bit of our sealant, whatever, Honda Bond, gasket tack, whatever you like to use. So right where the engine splits are, I always like to put just a little bit of sealant. Is there another split? I guess that's the only split. We'll just put a little bit up here just to help hold the gasket in place. Like so. Push on it where we put that little bit of sealant, and now it'll hold itself in place nicely while we deal with the cover. I prepped up our Pro-Tie bolts with the ceramic paste. Oil fill cap back on there, and then hook our clutch cable back up. Now let's just double check our clutch free play. Shouldn't have changed. Didn't change. We still got free play in our lever. Still activates the clutch. Feels normal, so that's good. Snug up our oil fill cap. All right.
Beautiful.
Installed. Looking great. All right, what's going on, everyone? So we got the clutch cover and alternator cover installed finally. Didn't think it was going to be that much work to do the clutch cover at all. We're going to look into what we can do. So if you want to do this, it'd be something easier. Definitely, if you're going to do it right now, make sure you order the new parts. You can order those new needle bearings and seal from BMW, and that clip. It would make it a lot easier just not to have to remove it. But it looks phenomenal. And we just got done adding hundreds of dollars worth of titanium fasteners to this bolt. I was curious, so I just looked it up. The complete fairing bolt kit, which we have for this motorcycle, and like 80% are on here, $460.
Wow.
Let alone these engine bolts that you can't even find yet. And there's Pro-Tie bolts holding this full 6 carbon front fender on. There's Pro-Tie bolts holding the belly pan on now. I have the rest of the bolts to do the rest of it. We're gonna get all of them on there. So that's just icing on the cake, you know? Yeah. Light, strong, reusable fasteners, you can't beat it. We haven't had any issues with them yet. They fade in the sun a little bit, sometimes the blue does, but it's still blue. It's just a little different color blue. Nothing terrible, but no cracking or failures at all. So that's it for today's video.
All right.
I think I was looking forward to this. It really does change the way the motorcycle looks. I wish we had some sun outside so we could push it out there and really admire it, but we can't. Next time we're gonna get into some more nitty gritty stuff. We're gonna rip off the stock exhaust system, weigh it against the M system, weigh it against our tie system, just to see what everything weighs and how much we're gonna save. We're gonna reuse this SC can though, of course.
Yes.
So that's gonna look great once this is just titanium exhaust. Then after we do the exhaust, we're gonna get into the intake track and then finally put the Brentoon flash on it and show some of his new features that are available that you can ask for and stuff that you can come ask me for at the shop. So that'll be like the next 3 or 4 videos, so stay tuned. And right now I'm just gonna adjust the chain because someone had fun riding this bike.
Yeah, Manny and Michael in Miami. But yeah, thanks so much guys for watching this video. Zach gave us a lot of awesome information. So stay tuned for more videos like this as part of the new bike build series. And don't forget, if you want to win this motorcycle, information on how you can do that is down below in the description. Come join our Patreon family, get videos before they're sent to the YouTube, and possibly win this amazing motorcycle like 10 other people have already done over the last 4 years or so. All right, folks, thanks for viewing the video, and we'll catch you next time on the 650 Eve YouTube channel. This is a gorgeous machine.